Hi, and welcome to another Sparkle 5 tutorial. In this one, I want to look at the password protected page and login form. It's actually much simpler than people think, and I'm going to show you how to set it up on your website. So here I've got a very simple site. I've got a home page, obviously, and if I click on the second page, I have an About Us page, a Contact Us page, and a private page. So obviously this is the one I want to have a password protection on. So I'm going to go back to the home page. One thing you have to remember about the password setup is that you cannot preview it unless it's live. So you can preview your pages, but actually when you want to test it, you have to publish the document. It won't work because it uses PHP between the server and your file. So you will need to publish it to test it. So I've set up a test site in order to do that, but in the meantime we're going to preview it. Now the first step you want to take is to say, who are the people I want to access these private pages or this one simple private page? And the thing you need to set up first, and if we go to settings, is the password protection. So here you've got some things that you need to set up in order to create that password protected page. Now, there are two buttons which might be a bit confusing. The user group is the group of people you want to be able to access those pages. The user accounts are the people within the group. So you set up a group. Let's say I'm doing this for a school. You may want the staff to have this private area. So you could call this group the staff group. And then you could name each individual staff member within that group. So let's do that. We'll edit the user group first, and it comes with a default group. And I've already done this, so I'm just going to change the group name here to staff. And you can see I've made a note, this is for staff only, and I can literally just put that note in here. So I'm going to go back. Now I want to create a person who can access the page. So I'm going to click Add. And here I'm going to put the username of that person, and I'm going to put T Jones. I'm going to give them a password of 12345. Their surname will be Jones. Their first name will of course be Tom. Their email will be tjones@school.com. Obviously you will be filling in your own information here. We are in the staff group. I can edit that. If I've got more than one group, I will be able to edit that and change it. I can put some additional information. I can say he's their head teacher, and I can make a private note there if I want to. So the things you've got to remember for this simple login is the username and the password. So let's go back. Now, you've got to remember that once they've logged in, unless they quit the browser, they won't be logged out. Now from this little drop down here, you can automatically log them out. I usually set that to the least amount of time. But let me warn you now that a lot of people log in and forget they've logged in, and then they walk away from their laptop or their computer, which is still open. They're still logged in. So on the private page, it's pretty essential to put a logout button, and I'm going to show you how to do that when we come to it. I'm going to now publish this, and this sends the information to my server. So that's gone live. I'm now done with the setup of the people. You may now notice, of course, that I've got an extra page called a user login. And basically what's going to happen is I'm going to click on the private page, and I'm going to say on the right hand side in the contextual menu, protect with password. I also want to exclude it from the site search, so I don't want anyone looking for this page. Now the next thing I want to do is to go to the user login page. You can see there's an automatic form with the basics that you need for a user login. So I'm going to click on the actual form, which is a group, and you can see that here. And we need to set a page that when they log in, they go to. And that now has been set to private because that's the one we clicked on to password protect. If you had clicked more than one page, you'd have a drop-down list there. And page following the logout is going to be the home page. Again, you can choose the page you want. So that's the individual things set. Obviously, if you click on the individual items, this is the username, and under validation at the bottom here, we require it, and it can be any content. Password is definitely required. If I click on the actual submit button, you can stylize that here. That's pretty simple. And then you have this login error. So if they've made an error with the username or password, you need to let them know. And if I click again inside this, you can see I've got an insert smart field over here on the right hand side. There's an insert smart field. So click on it again, and you can type your message in the login error message box. Whilst we can preview it to see what it looks like, you can't actually use it because it's not gone live yet. So the next thing we want to do is publish it. And that will just take a second or two. That's done. Now if we pop over to our, you see that's the local, that's the preview. So now we want to go to testsparkle.co.uk, and here we are. So I can click on home, I can click on the about us page, the contact us page, but when I click on private, it now takes me to the login area. And we can say T Jones 1 2 3 4 5, click the login. It will ask me if I want to save the password, which I don't, and I'm now on the private page. So that's my way, and bear in mind, if I'm just playing around in the website and I click on private again, I do go to that private page again. I haven't logged out. Now, if I quit Safari and go back, it will automatically log me out. So it's a really good idea here on the private page. Let's go back to Sparkle and click on the private page to put a little button in there. And we'll just call that important log out. And of course, you can put what you want in that. And on the click, right at the bottom is a new one called logout. There's nothing else to do, simple as that. So now if I go back, of course I have to republish, I have to republish. And now if I go back to my Safari and refresh, I've got my logout page, which will hopefully take me back to the home page, and there we have it. So now if I click on private, I have to log back in. So that's a very simple way of setting up a login form and a private page. If you want to make a group of private pages, you may want to create a section by going here and saying new section, and create all your private pages within that section. Bear in mind that once you're inside that section live in Safari, you will need some kind of menu to take you between the pages, but a menu that doesn't appear outside the section. So you might have to create some buttons or a separate menu to get you around inside those private pages, but that you don't want seen outside of them. So just bear that in mind if you're creating more than one private page. You need a navigation system inside. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next one.